G'day guys, in this quick little video, I want to give you a bunch of tips about van life, especially if you're new to camping. A lot of people over the years have asked me random little things about traveling in a van, living in a van, because I did for like 4 years around Europe. And yeah, besides that, let's just jump straight into it. I'll give you as many tips as I can to help you have a bit more of a successful van life road trip. Let's hit it. Alright, so welcome to the first tip of this video. So, first tip I got for you is don't overpack when you're planning your trip. I've done many trips where I've had a van full of stuff. When I was traveling and living in my van, I was doing music and photography, and I had like 2 guitars, PA speakers, tons of camera gear, plus just all my things for living. And sometimes it was a pretty nightmarish experience. So, I'll show you a few little tips here. First of all, yeah, just don't go overboard when you're planning. So don't bring 10 jackets, bring 1 jacket. You know, you're most likely not going on a fashion trip when you're doing a van life trip. Well, actually these days on Instagram, people kind of are doing that, but don't do that. Don't be one of those people. So some tips though is, so for example, when we were planning this trip, we had a problem in the last trip in Portugal with a lot of like stuff just thrown in together. So we went out and bought a couple of these boxes. They're cheap. Nothing fancy, but you know, they're just good for separating this. We've got all our grill stuff in there. You can't really see that, can you? Hang on. There you go. So we bought a couple of these. We've got all our grill stuff in there, and you know, it's just easy to separate everything. All the kitchen bits in here, and that's like a pretty, you know, I know it sounds like a pretty simple little tip, but sometimes when you go on for a trip in the van, you just kind of throw everything in the van and you go, which is cool in its own way. But if you pre-plan those kind of things a little bit, don't overtake too much stuff. You're gonna have a much more relaxed, nicer experience living in the van because it's already a small space. And yeah, that's it. That's the first tip. Don't overpack. Well, it started raining a bit too much to keep making videos, so what we're going to do is we're going to head out west and we're going to continue a few tips for the you beginner campers in hopefully a little bit nicer weather. So let's hit the road, eh? So another little quick tip for all you newbies to camping is when you're cooking, plan easy meals, because sometimes you think like, I mean, if you love cooking and you want to do a complicated thing, do it. But my tip is that make something easy. That's why I love the grill. Cut up some veggies. There's not too much cleaning afterwards. You know, the more things you have to do in the process of whatever it is that you cook, there's more washing, there's more everything to do. So a grill, you slap it on, cut it up, slap it on, and you eat it. So there's my tip. Choose easy meals. Things like pastas, wraps, grill, stir fries. Sometimes I'm just cutting up veggies, bit of chicken, throw it all together and it's easy. Even if you want to be even easier, eat it out of the pot. If you're being solo and you don't care about looking cool, you know, just eat it out of the pot and clean it. It's easy. But anyway, that's the next tip. Choose easy meals. Nina's just come up with a new tip, so we're going to chuck this one in. So Nina, give the good people your tip.
So I know it's not the most sustainable option, but a really good tip is bring wet wipes. Like, it's so good for everything, like for cleaning as you go, for like your hands, for your body if you really have no exercise.
Cleaning your ass.
Exactly, cleaning your ass. Basically for everything. It's so good to have them. Make sure for sure like you always throw them out in rubbish and not like just leave them behind in nature. But it's so good, like if you have like dirty dishes, I know it's super annoying if you don't have any running water or anything nearby you, but clean them immediately because they will just like stack up, and you will have like a lot to do when you arrive at your next campsite or at home or wherever. So make sure you clean them immediately. And for this, flat wipes are just really good if you don't have like access to running water or a river or something. Then just clean a bit with that, and yeah, then you're good for your next meal.
Yeah, and so I'll just jump in there. The thing is, so this is the California beach we've got running here. And this one doesn't have, like, you know, the ocean has the full kitchen unit, so you have running water, you have all these things. It's a little bit tricky with this. I actually want to get like a running water thing here, but that's basically why this tip is a good one. So if you're actually camping with a tent, if you're out with the California beach, and you usually don't, wet wipes are good for everything. I actually don't usually use them, to be honest, for cleaning my dishes, because I'm pretty lazy, and like, for example, here we'll go down to the river and do it. But it's pretty awesome, wiping surfaces down, everything that you just, you know, you don't have that access like you would at home. So great tip, Nina. Basically the tip was clean as you go and get wet wipes. So a quick little tip, when you're out in nature, just do the dishes in beautiful places like this. It's much easier than dealing with washing dishes in the van and yeah, I don't know, wasting your water that you got there. Quick few tips though, try to use running water. We're in Switzerland, so this is as clean water can be. But obviously if the water's just sitting still in like a little pond or something, it could have some nasty bugs in it. And the other quick tip is, like, today we're not even using any washing detergent, because you shouldn't use normal washing detergent for sure in, you know, natural water places. But also some people use biodegradable detergent, which is probably okay. I'm not 100% sure if it's really actually okay, but that would be my tip. If you're using, you know, if you're washing your dishes here, just use biodegradable kind of natural detergent. So yeah, there's a quick tip, makes it easier, quicker, and you save your water in your van. There you go. Alright guys, so the next tip I want to share with you, or just some ideas, is when you're planning your road trips, think about the type of activities you want to be doing. So doesn't really matter what you're into. For me, I love photography, of course, so I think about what are the locations I want to go to, where is the best place to camp and sleep close to those places. If it's hiking, another awesome activity for living in the van, because you can be in incredible places and basically get back from the hike, be where you're going to sleep, or start in the morning super early. So that's kind of perfect. Think about those things though. Take that in consideration. Don't just look on Instagram and go like, wow, that's a beautiful place. You go there, you sit with the van, and you kind of think, this is awesome, but actually I'm not doing the things I want to be doing. So consider that when you're planning your road trips. What's passionate for you? Hey, if you like reading books, maybe go and find the nice place on Instagram that you can just sit at and you don't have to do necessarily anything, and read your book. Great plan. So yeah, anyway, that's just a little quick tip that sometimes I've realized people have kind of not really considered when planning road trips. Think about what you enjoy doing and allow the van to be basically a utility for you to do that. Don't just go and sit there and do nothing. There you go. Alrighty. So the next point I wanted to quickly talk to you guys about, gotta get rid of this screen. I keep looking at the screen over here. Let's just flip that guy away, hey? Then it's just you and me. Alrighty, so the next point that I wanted to talk to you quickly a little bit about, which I think some people get a bit unsure about and a bit confused about, is wild camping. So personally, wild camping is the thing I've mostly done in my life. These days, because of the videos, sometimes I'm trying to go to more campsites because it's nice to show you guys different campsites in different areas. But actually, when I used to live in the van, I almost only used to like wild camp because, I mean, look at this place. It's pretty unbelievable. Now, the thing is, in Europe, there's a lot of different rules in different countries and different areas. Of course, my suggestion is do your research about what is allowed, what isn't allowed. It's definitely not any kind of advice to say, hey, if it's not allowed, just do it anyway. But I do it anyway, quite often, because, you know, my opinion is like, for sure, bring your rubbish with you. Don't go and do your dirty business in a bush and leave all your toilet paper and all that sort of stuff around the place. You know, just like basically leave it cleaner than you arrived, but go and enjoy it. You know, in the end of the day, I think in van life, people get so worried about the laws and everything. And in my opinion, it's kind of, yeah, and probably some people are a little bit annoyed at me for that advice. But, you know, in the end of the day, I just think enjoy these beautiful places. I actually don't even know if this place is allowed to camp at or not. It's just a place I found on an app online. And yeah, hey, basically just be mindful of the nature that you're in, respect it, keep it clean, all that kind of stuff. But don't get too worried about like if the place you're allowed is a legal, proper, full-on camping site. I've been living in a van. I lived in a van for 4 years, and like now, of course, I'm still back in the van, not full-on living always, but doing a lot of road trips, and I've never ever been fined. So maybe I was super lucky. But at the same time, I just say, hey, be a good person, respect it, and you'll be fine. And enjoy great places like this. And find yourself a girlfriend who cleans your van for you. Legend. Alright, so going on from wild camping, I thought I'd quickly tell you about an app that kind of actually changed my life in this whole van life thing in Europe. So the first 2 years, I literally would drive around Europe and just like kind of rock up to random places and hope I can camp there. But one thing a friend taught me was there's an app called Park for Night. Now, obviously, if you know camping in Europe, you're gonna know this app, I'm pretty sure. But if you don't, it's literally called Park, like P-A-R-K, and then a 4, and then Night. It's pretty awesome app that has tons of information about like where you can camp, wild camping. There's people do reviews, you see photos of the spots, there's campsites, you can find campsites, places to fill up water. Like it's got so many little things. It's like basically a map and it's got all the crazy things on it. So I kind of really highly recommend that, to be honest, because it makes life in Europe especially very, very easy. If you live abroad, most countries have, I know America has their own apps, Australia has an app. I mean, there's tons of them around, but Park for Night in Europe is definitely the biggest and kind of the best, to be honest. So get that if you're doing a road trip. I know I think they have a subscription thing now for like, maybe it's $10 a year or something, and you can find everything. I do recommend it because it's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's basically it for that. So another app I'll tell you a little bit about is an app in Austria, which is actually pretty good thing. I haven't actually personally used enough, but I always mean to, and the guys seem like absolute legends there. But basically, it's a one called Schau aufs Land. Nina, was it Schau aufs Land? Yeah, I always say that pronouncing it wrong. But basically in Austria, it's like kind of hard to sometimes be like wild camping and that. And this app makes it cool because you can basically go to farms and nature places, let's say, and camp. And it's got the information. I think it is 30 euros for the year. But to be honest, like considering you're going on people's property and all that sort of stuff, it's a pretty awesome deal, to be honest. So it's basically like a super cheap campsite. So I recommend that, check it out. It's really good. Seem like great guys. They've messaged me a few times and I'm pretty bad at getting back to them sometimes. So sorry guys, but let's go hang out on a farm soon. Anyway guys, Park for Night, Schau aufs Land, get on it. Alright guys, so that is all in this video. If you have any questions or anything that I've not really touched on, for sure leave them in the comments down below and I'll try to answer them. You can also send us a DM on Instagram, it's just @MYVANTURE, so I'll get back to you there. Or you can also message me directly on @SIMEON, which is my Instagram. Yeah. Besides that guys, get out, enjoy your camping, enjoy your trips. One of the best things about road trips is just getting out, getting away from the busy schedule you're probably mostly all in, and just being able to do something a little bit different and kind of reset and free your mind a bit. So have a morning coffee, enjoy it, enjoy the nature, and after your morning coffee, you're probably going to need to do some business, so I'll let you figure that one out yourself. Enjoy, take care, bye. Not gonna lie, flippin' sick of doing things and then running back for the camera. So I hope you enjoyed this video.